Okay, picking up from where we last left off, we created our login mechanism to log the user in, and once the user was logged in, a session was stored, and it redirected the user to a profile page. And as of right now, this is the only thing our profile page does. It just displays the username. So in this part, we're going to go ahead and make a mock-up of the universal profile page. And doing this, I'm going to use a couple tools that I like to use. First, I'm going to go over the 960 grid system, which is pretty much a PHP framework. And what it does is it creates everything in a nice window that's within 960 pixels. Let me see if it has a demo on here. Okay, and these are sites that are using it. I use this in a lot of things, like blogs and other websites, because it keeps everything nice and neat, and you don't have to worry about controlling the floats. And another thing we're going to be using, which is like a CSS3 thing, is we're going to be using the font face attribute, and we're going to use the web symbol font face. So instead of going into Photoshop or Illustrator or Fireworks to create icons, we're going to use this. So what this is going to do is that we're going to go ahead and create a CSS rule or properties that are going to take the font face and assign one of these icons to the corresponding letter. So it's going to keep this, so we can keep production moving fastly. I'll have the links for these websites in the description, and also in the description will be the download for this part. It will have everything included, and so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, all right. So we're in our profile .php page. Let's go ahead and delete that. Actually, we're still going to need the closing the PHP tag. All right, so let's go ahead and start with session start. And we're going to need to check to make sure that there's a username given. So we can do if is set get username. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and do profile name will equal to get username. So the profile name will represent the name of the username for the page, because we're going to be also checking to see if it matches, to see if the profile page being viewed is owned by the user, so they can edit it. So we're just going to store it in that variable. Let's do else. So if no username is given, if it's not set, we're going to do, we can send them to, well, we didn't create a index page, so we're just going to send them to, we can do an index page. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Echo no user by that name, and then exit. Okay. All right, now we gotta check to make sure. Let's see if we can actually find the username. So let's go ahead actually up above this first if statement and do include our database connection. And we can do something like query equals select everything from members where username equals did I do profile, oops, profile name. Okay, and then we'll do query equals DB query SQL. Okay, and then we do a simple if statement. If query num rows does not equal 1, we can copy this, paste that. Okay. All right, so what this is going to do, we know that there's only one row per user. If it doesn't equal 1, we're going to display that message and then kill the page. So let's save that. Come back in here. We should see nothing, okay, because we know that works. Now if we do that, okay. All right, so now let's go ahead and work on this. So else, so this is where if the user is found, we're going to go ahead. We're going to fetch the information from the members table. So we can do SQL. This is not going to mess with anything. Actually, you know what? Let's do it like this. Query, no, row equals query fetch object. And then let's store, let's see. We can get the ID equals row ID. First name equals row first name. Do the same thing for last name. Okay. Now this is the only personal information that we're going to want to display on our page that's created in our members table. We don't want to display their email address, their password. But what we're going to do is, in the next part, we're going to go over how to create an edit profile page, and we're going to go ahead and put create a table that's going to store the, say, country, state, and city that they live in, and a brief bio blip that's going to display on the page. But since we don't, I've already went and created that table, but I'm not going to really go in, display I'll have it in the source code for the source code download package on how to create the table. I'll go over it in the next part. But for right now, there's no information in the table, so we can go. But we still need to check to see if there's any information. So we got the ID, and we're going to do profile bio equals query select everything from member bio where member ID equals ID. Okay. All right, you know what? Let's go ahead and check out that members table. Okay, this is the members bio table right here. I created this just so it's going to store some information about the member first, so we can have some more things displaying on our page. And I didn't want to go ahead and include all this in the registration part of the tutorial because I wanted to keep it, kind of small and simple. But this is what the table is going to look like. We got an ID, which is the primary auto increment member, country, state. Yet again, I'll include notes on how to create this table in the downloads package. So what we're going to do now is, with this script, we're going to go ahead and check to see if there's any information for this profile in that table. So we do if, and yet again, it's going to be one row per user. So if profile bio equals, or actually, you know what? It's num rows equals 1. We can do country. No, actually, you know what we do? Row equals profile bio fetch object. We can do country row country city row city. Do the same thing for bio. And the same thing for state. Okay. All right. Now, if there is no information in there, we don't want to, because we want to display if there's no information there or not. So let's go ahead and just do, if it's no information there, we can just go country equals NA, or we can do not given. But I'm just going to go ahead and use NA for not applicable. We can do the same thing for city. State. Okay, and bio. All right. Now let's see. I think we got just about everything we need except for one more important thing. Now let's go ahead and do, we guess check to see if the person viewing this page is the logged in page owner. So we can do if set session logged in and let's say end session username equals profile name. We can do page owner equals true. Okay, so what this is going to do is to check if the username of the page or the profile name matches the session username. So what, and what we're going to use this for is to display some options that allow you to edit your profile page, or allows the owner of the page to edit the page. And they will only display if these things match up. Okay. Alright, so I think that's it for now with the PHP part of it. So let's go ahead and start creating our HTML mockup. I'm going to use the HTML5 doc type. And we're going to use the CSS. I created a CSS file for this to speed up time. And then we're going to need to link in our 960 framework CSS as well. So let's go ahead and do this. Link CSS reset .css. Okay, and then a text file. These two files, I'm sorry I didn't go over them. They come with the 960 framework. So what they do is help reset. It's a reset file and and a file containing some things that help manage your text within for the CSS side. So once you get a chance, go ahead and visit that site. Remember, the link will be in the description, and you can play around with it and see what everything works, what everything does. It's well documented. It's just I'm not going to go over everything for this tutorial. So we need 960 12 column .css, and then we also need CSS profile. Okay. Alright. So I'm going to go over this profile.css file. What this is doing is right here at the top, this is the font phrase property. And we're bringing in, if you look over here, these are the fonts that different browsers that recognize. So what this is doing is assigning to this property for font family web symbol. Now, whenever I use the font family web symbol, these fonts will correspond for that and then be filled in. So you can see where I'm going to be using it, and it's going to be a class called icon. Alright, so let's go ahead and start mocking this up. I'm going to start using some HTML5 properties for the site. So we've got the header of it. We're going to give this a class of container 12. Just do a generic site name for the name of the site. And this class is a part of the 12, is coming from the 960 the 960 grid system, the 12 column layout. So what this is saying that there's going to be 12 columns contained within the 960 pixels. So let's go ahead and refresh this. I didn't save it. Oh. Let's see. Got an error on line 21. forgot to put DB query. Okay. Alright, so we also need to add right here, since we're using HTML5 elements, for the dreaded Internet Explorer browsers, anything below IE9, we need to add this, which is called the HTML shiv or shim. It was created by a guy named Remy that pretty much makes it so that the browsers can it's a JavaScript file that creates the elements that allows the browsers, older browsers, to read and understand the new HTML tags. So let's go ahead and save this. I think I did something wrong here, but we can come back to that. Alright, so let's go ahead and create our main part. So we're going to do div id main. Close this. And then we need our footer. I'm not going to really put anything inside of our footer yet, but just good to have. It's good page semantics and practice to always put a header, footer, and main within your mockup. Okay, I noticed this. We can do CSS / that. Okay, so you can see what the container 12 does. It puts everything with 960 pixels and it centers it. You can do this yourself, but you know, why bother doing all that? It's good to know how to do it, but when there's tools to use, it's best place to go ahead and use them. So we're going to do this. We're also going to give this a class of container 12. Alright, now inside this, we're going to do a side. We're going to give this a class of grid 3. Alright, so, and then within here, we're going to have a default, excuse me, have the default profile pic. This is stored in the CSS file. Did I name it profile pic? Yeah. I created this in Firefox. Not Firefox, Fireworks. It's just a basic profile picture. Okay. All right. So what grid 3 is? Think of let's say the container is 12 grids. Now it's going to go extend 3 grids, and then it's going to stop. So I can put another, say another div. We're going to call this. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use section. Give it an ID of primary. I'm going to do a class of grid. See, we got 12 grids. Let's go ahead and give it the rest. So 9. Just do primary for now. Refresh. So what this does, it stops at grid 3, and now this is the rest. Yeah, again, if you read the documentation for the 960 framework, it'll be able to explain it better than what I can. I know how it works. It's just for me, I can't really think of an easy way to explain it to somebody who doesn't really know how to use CSS or doesn't really know about the framework. So yet again, I would recommend you reading it. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do in the primary section, we're going to do like this. You know what? I'm going to stop it here for now, and then I promise to have the next one up tomorrow. All right. So this is good for right now. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, find it at all at least useful and helpful, give it a thumbs up, favorite it. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. It all helps out the channel and lets me know that you guys are liking the tutorials. And again, the source package to what we've done up to so far will be in the downloads. Thanks and have a wonderful day.